If you want to share where you teach so that everybody knows, that would be awesome. Let's get everybody, I'm going to sit here dancing all night. Let's get everybody their ability to draw. And look at this. This is fun. You're allowed to have fun. This is our last chance to have fun in 2014. We are doing Bravo, everybody. We are doing Bravo, which is a life aspect of the DJ DELF Kit. And right now we are just scribbling all over the video, Bravo. We're just having some fun. Okay. That was kind of fun. Thank you. Always feel free to chat and drop me a little message in the chat box. Okay? And so if you... what you're going to hopefully like about this is, I don't know if you're new or if you're old here to Shop Talk, but we use this DJ DELF Kit, this resource, as an excuse to share and give you all this stuff for free. That's the whole idea. So, okay, having said all that, today what we're covering, and I'm going to switch to it right now. Okay, it is this life aspect that comes from the DJ DELF Kit called Bravo. Now, what's great about when you have the 9 life aspects in this DJ DELF Kit, you can start anywhere. You can do the Je me présente, ma journée typique, mon point de vue. You could do the one on maps, the one on restaurants, the one on defending arguments, the one on essays, whatever it is. It's wherever you want to go. It doesn't matter. That's the beauty of it. Because the fact is, this is a career resource, so there's too much stuff there anyways. You can only do 3 or 4 life aspects in a year anyways, so just go anywhere you want. Well, what I noticed was a lot of people who did get this resource, brought it home, looked at it. A lot of them started with Je me présente. It's a very popular one, and I understand that. It makes kind of sense. You're introducing yourself to the resource. You're using it as an excuse to introduce students to each other, and have the whole concept about meeting people, sharing thoughts, ideas, talking about daily things that you do. I mean, it's fantastic. But I learned just on the internet, and just from people who Facebook message me questions, right? Because I'm here 24/7, all right? 24/7, you can Facebook message me anytime. I should probably put that information up for you, and I will. Let me do that later. But anyways, is they had questions about the Bravo life aspect, all right? And the whole idea of the Bravo life aspect is to inject some positivity into the classroom, some positivity into the school, the energy, and the lives of your students. Why? Because life is short. Life is very, very short. And so we want to make the most of it by spreading joy, right? Make love, not war type thing, right? So here's the first thing we're going to do with this, all right? I can play the video like this. And what we're going to do is I want you to think of any French expressions that are like the ones you are seeing there, okay? And I want you to take your pens, and I want you to write them around this video screen. I'm going to start it again. I'm going to make sure everybody has their pens. And look at somebody starting already. But I'm going to just play the song. I'm going to play some of the music beside it. And I want you to just write down any words in French, expressions, positive things that you can say to one another that would make people feel, well, thank you. I feel good about that. All right? So let's get graffiti-izing, and have some fun. I want to see as many words as you want to write up there. Words that you would make people feel good. Going on Christmas break, going on in 2015. Make them feel good. Make them feel real good. Yeah. All right.
Exactement.
Okay.
Excellent. Stupéfiant.
Let's see what kind of words we have up here already. Excellent. Fantastique. Magnifique. Bravo. You can even change your pen color if you want.
Bien fait.
You want a different word.
Épatant. Brillant. Étonnant. Extraordinaire. Exceptionnel. Super. Sensationnel. Bravo. 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 Bravo.
All right, so this was just to get you a general idea of where we're going at when we look at this whole Bravo theme. Let me switch it over to our first sheet there, and But thank you very much, because I loved the words that you were sharing. And what we wanted to do here with this DJ DELF Kit was wanted to add this life aspect that can help promote some parts of your state or provincial curriculum that otherwise could be hard to do. And when it comes to this life aspect called Bravo, the idea is for everybody to work together to make it a better school, make it a better town, make it a better family life situation, better relationships, better everything, using the power of positive words and expressions. And so that's what we're doing here. What we're going to do today is we're going to start with the big idea. So I hope everybody is able to copy and paste. Some people who can't copy and paste do the really wise thing, and they screenshot. They screenshot what they see in front of themselves. So please feel free to do that as well. And why don't we get right to it? Big ideas for Bravo. If you're unfamiliar with what a big idea is, perhaps I should just begin there by just letting you know that big ideas, all right, are suggested culminating tasks for co-construction of learning goals. So they are already set up for you and they're done for you, so that all you have to do is work with your students. There's the co-construction idea. Work with your students and say, what is the end goal that we want before we tackle this life aspect, or what we used to call units, right? Or themes. We call them life aspects because we want to get real. We want to get authentic with our students using the action-oriented approach, right? So if we want to use the action-oriented approach and we want to keep it real, let's have end goals that make sense. Let's have end goals that we agree upon, and that therefore the co-construction. And then suggested curriculum connections for success criteria creation. In other words, what are the rungs to the ladder? What are the signs of success that we're going to be shooting for on our way to this big idea, this end destination that we have chosen together? And by providing students with many different choices for big ideas, they can actually choose one that best suits them, their interests, their abilities, their skills. So we don't have to all be doing the exact same big idea, the same end goal. Students can actually work together, and while they're doing it, be tracking their own learning. Hopefully we'll touch on that today as well, while they're reaching that end destination. And they're ready-made for you, for your teacher and student collaboration and the input that's going to happen. These are enduring ideas. They are end goals, the culminating tasks, or the big picture of what students are to endeavor to do to accomplish at the end of a life aspect study. And by assigning new big ideas each year, students can practice these authentic life aspects repeatedly, year after year, but with a fresh new goal in mind each time they tackle it. Okay, so Alexandra asks a great question, and I'm going to let everybody know she sent it to me privately, but Alexandra, forgive me, but it's the question that a lot of people are asking. So how can I get a hold of these big ideas? Alexandra, are you a DJ DELF Kit user? In other words, do you have this big old resource here? Okay, great. Well, they come in your booster packs, which is what's great about the DJ DELF Kit, is once you get it, you get everything forever free after that. And that includes the big ideas. So you get them through email, because we email all the updates, all the special offers, all the things that you get as being part of the thousands that are using it, thousands all over the world that are using this. Is so crazy, isn't it? How this has become like this little mini phenomenon revolution thing. It's really, really cool. Well, what's cool about it is that we feed off each other, we learn off each other, and this thing grows, and grows. So this, what is already a career's worth of resources, just gets bigger and bigger and sharper and sharper. Okay. Now, the other place to get it, to finish answering the question too, Alexandra, is here on Shop Talk, because I'm going to be copying and pasting for you, and you can just have fun, and you can take screenshots, and you can grab these nuggets. They're yours. They're yours. You are spending a Tuesday night. Point is that you are spending all this time with us, then for goodness sakes, just enjoy it. You deserve it. You deserve it. All the Shop Talk videos from now on are going to be put up later. So you'll see all the graffiti that you just did. You guys are all stars of this show, and it's going to be up for preview, review, whatever you want to do. So this is free PD. You can attend a conference basically anytime you want by using these as free podcasts, however you want, to grab these nuggets. So you can look down in the choices of things, the different Shop Talk episodes that have passed, and you can say, oh, I'm doing something on food and restaurants. And then you click on that, and 20 minutes later, you have so many ideas, you'd be crying, basically. Touch base with me at any time if you have any questions. You go to facebook.com/online. And so like my friend Kelly, who just joined us, she can tell you that you can reach me anytime, and that is easily done. And what you're going to notice here is, hopefully you can see I'm circling here. Let me circle it so you can really see it. There is the life aspect, bravo. The next part here is the grade suggested range, okay? So 1+ means you can do it grade 12s, but it's telling you you can actually go that low. You can teach that low, and you'll be okay if the grade is that low. Okay? Then there is the name of the particular big idea. Then I will provide you with the information about the learning goals concerning this idea. And then finally, the success criteria related to it. Let's begin some ideas for the life aspect bravo, basically positivity in the classroom. Number 1 is congratulations. Students will put the power of encouraging words into motion. Using the vocabulary and expressions acquired via the authentic tasks, you have to understand, as we go through all this, they're going to be experiencing modeling from you, modeling from DJ DELF, via audio, via video, with words popping out like you saw in the beginning of this Shop Talk episode. They're going to do an amazing skit with interchangeable vocabulary. They're going to be playing games with the words. They're going to be practicing the words, recognizing the words. So they'll be doing all these things, right? After that, what they're going to do is they're going to create cards of congratulations to those who've done well using this Bravo Life Aspect vocabulary and expression. So basically, you're going to get together with your class and you're going to make congratulation cards, and you're going to spread the joy of congratulations throughout your school. Well, it'll look like this. Students will draft, revise, and apply proper language conventions in a finished work of messages of congratulations. So that's what they're doing. It could be emails. Don't forget, everything's about real life stuff. So we're talking emails, texts, cards, notes strapped to pigeons. Don't hurt the pigeons, but strap the notes to them and let them free, okay? Put notes in balloons with the address of your school. Put the congratulation notes of say, congratulations for finding this balloon. You are an amazing person. Fantastique, épatant, splendide, things like that. Write the message. Ask them to return a message with an email address, with a snail mail address. Tell me if you think that that is a good idea. Fantastique, acrostique. Okay, so the next one here, and I just slid it down, is using the vocabulary expression word to build the world's largest acrostic possible. Okay, so take, and I don't even know how many there are in this song. There's dozens, I believe, of positive words or positive expressions. And certainly there's more that your students can create. What I like about not just the CD, but the DVD, is there is the instrumental versions. And when you have the instrumental versions of these thumping DJ DELF dance tracks, that means the students can always create, for every one of these life aspects, their own verses and their own choruses. So not only is the DJ DELF Kit cool because you can request any activity, any worksheets, any rubrics you see in Word format, so that you can change it to adapt to add your students' names, add your street names from your town on the maps, to do whatever you want. Well, musically and even visually, you'll be able to use these songs, the videos, and the instrumental versions of the audio CD, for your students to create their own works, so they can add their own. So that's kind of cool. Let's move on. Photo fantastique. If a picture tells 1,000 words, surely you use vocabulary and expressions acquired via the authentic tasks, again, the interactive activities that we're going to do with the Bravo thing, to come up with 20 photos. 20 photos that capture the essence of 20 of the wonderful, powerful, positive words and phrases and expressions found in this life aspect. Then what I want you to do is create a mural, kind of like the mural that you created when we began the show. A collage of 20 photos with the Bravo words and expressions as the photo captions. So what's great about it is you can actually take these pictures, you can go through different pictures, and you can cut out pictures from a magazine. You can take pictures from the internet. You can copy and paste them onto different formats. Add the words, discuss why you think these things are splendid. They are amazing. And you could have really controversial photos. You could have a weary fireman who's by he's fighting a forest fire, and there he is, and he's weary, and his head is low, and his face has excuse me, the black char from the trees, and it looks sad. But maybe you want to add a word like or splendide or fantastique, because to you that describes the kind of person she or he is. That fireman or that firewoman is risking their lives to stop a fire from advancing into residential areas, okay? So what you see is sad. What you see is a weary fire person. You see these trees that unfortunately we've lost. But if you look a little bit closer into the photo, you see the heart of a warrior. And of course, as V says, you can have she's adding the idea of total physical response. If you don't know what TPR is, that's what that is. TPR is what AIM is based on, with the gestures and the movements and things like that. So you could bring your own camera, V says, and have students make their own photos. They don't have to photo each other. If you have a school that they say, no, you can't take pictures of other students, that's okay. They can go just outside the classroom, just go outside the school, into the yard, and take pictures of different things. They can assemble objects from the classroom, and they can make their own. There's a lot of things they can do. Never, ever rob the students of the chance for them to shine. You know what I'm saying? Let them be creative. They will often, more often than not, they will surprise you. Okay. How are we with this one? Can I move on to the next one? And look, this is idea number 3 or 4 here, and we're finally at the word positive campaign. This is something that I would have probably led with in my head. If you're speaking, then that's where all these ideas come from. If you're wondering where these big ideas come from, they all come from my head. I didn't Google research them. I didn't do anything like that. They all came straight from my head. Boom, over 100 that got laid out here for you. And they're all free. Hello. Life is short. We should be helping each other. Okay? All right. So, the positive campaign, again, using the vocabulary and expressions of all the activities that we did, blah, blah, blah. They're going to create posters and sticky notes and memos to be placed on teachers, students, secretaries, and administrators' desks and walls throughout the schools. Notice I said desks. You thought I was saying stick it on the actual students, teachers, and administrators. No. On their desks, on their work areas, on the walls. Now what I want you to do is picture your school with these positive messages. And it could be your grumpiest colleague, the colleague that just drives you nuts. Send them a message. Light a fire under them. Not literally, okay? Or I'll get sued. What I want you to do is give them these positive messages. Through sticky notes are the best thing because they're small and they're like, oh, what's this? You could stick it in their daybook. You could stick it up there wherever you want to, okay? But so when they open it up, they see this positive thing and they're like, wow, I wonder where it came from. You don't have to put your name down. It shouldn't be about that, okay? I like this one. The Adventures of Positive Boy or Positive Girl, okay? Positive anybody. It could be positive dog, a positive cat. Please understand, these are suggestions. There's no more prep. It's all done for you, and you know it hits your state or province curriculum to the T. Why? Because it's action-based. It's task-based. It's real, authentic. It has them using order forms, maps, things like that, all real-life things. Okay? So it's beautiful. Alexander says, I love this, thinking of making connections to character ed throughout this life aspect. Thank you. Exactly. That was definitely one of the sneaky purposes, because here in Ontario where we teach, we have to be injecting these types of things into our curriculum. But Adventures of Positive Boy, Positive Girl, saving people from misery, sadness, and hurt feelings. Positive boy or girl sweeps in to save the day, day. Using the vocabulary and expressions acquired via the authentic tasks, interactive activities, and skit. You have to write a story this time or shoot a video about the adventures of Positive Boy or Positive Girl and what he or she does to spark positivity in the lives of citizens of Dullville, yes, right, in the lives of the citizens of Dullville. This reminds me a little bit of Cafe Delf with the Adventures of a Plate, where we consider the point of view of a plate in a restaurant, and you tell a story based on the plate's point of view. Oh, what it's like to be a plate. Well, this time, I'd like you to have your students consider writing a story or shooting a video about the adventures of Positive Girl who goes into Dullville, or Positive Boy who flies into Dullville and makes it live, changing the misery and sadness and hurt feelings into positivity. The next one is called Get Well. Students will now put the power of positive words in motion. And this time, after going through all the activities and the skit with interchangeable vocabulary and really understanding what these positive words and messages mean and how they can be applied to different pictures, different situations, I would like your students to write letters of encouragement for sick kids in hospitals or patients in a senior care facility using this Bravo Life aspect. So now we're going out and reaching out into the community. All right, Alexander says, this is great because we have a hospital behind our school, and we could deliver the cards and letters right to them. And that's a great idea. Let's get the students thinking about not just themselves. I mean, if you teach preteens or teens, you know that they're more apt and more prone to be center-focused and thinking about themselves. I don't believe it hurts for them to think about others. And so do you see here that the grade level went from 1+ to 4+? So there are some serious suggestions, some serious consideration that went not only into the ideas, not only into the learning goals, not only into the success criteria, those little markers and the rungs in the ladder that lead you to the place of the final destination, but also in the grade recommendation. Amy has a great idea. She says, I'm wondering about tying this idea into social justice. Exactly. So, exactly. I would do this whole idea of social justice and using these kind of positive words as a great springboard, exactly as you're suggesting, to make a difference and to talk about social change, positive social change. I love it. But in order to do it, look at this particular life aspect. Definition hunters. Okay. So now we know that these words exist. And we know they exist to encourage us. We know that they exist to encourage us, to make us feel good. But where do these words come from? It's time to explore. Use the vocabulary and expressions acquired from the authentic task, interactive activities, and skit with interchangeable vocabulary to help you search to the ends of the earth to discover the meaning of these words and expressions. Hint, sometimes you will need to get to the root of the word in order to find its true meaning and report your findings to the class. I'd like you to let me know what you feel about that. What do you think about this idea? Is it okay for us to ask the students to consider where the word fantastique comes from and what it could possibly mean and how it could be related to other words? I love it. Here are some of the comments that we're getting from this question. 1, I love grammar, says Michelle. Amy says, we do word work and immersion. It's okay. And Amy says, so why not? Alexander says, it's okay. It is authentic. V says, I love it. I just don't have time to maybe add that into all the other things that I'm doing. And Michelle says, yes, yes. Right? So I'm glad that, and I was hoping that you would kind of agree with me, and you don't have to by all means, of course, but I'm glad that you agree that it is okay to study the words and to look at how the focus changes, right? And what's really going on here is we're tricking the kids into using these words more and more and more, talking about the words, and exploring of how they may fit certain pictures different. What is the difference between magnifique, formidable, and fantastique? There is a difference, people. There is a difference. If there wasn't, they wouldn't have invented 3 different words, right? So let's find out. Let's find out. Okay, achievement chart. I love this one. And remember, I only say I love this one when I really, truly love it. Because that's when I'm really putting my major stamp of approval on there. Okay? Meaning, I probably experienced it before in my classroom and I've seen it work. This one is exciting. So you're going to use the vocabulary and expressions that you've acquired via the authentic task and interactive activities here in this crazy old DJ DELF Kit or whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, you can follow a commercial program. Maybe you're doing your own thing. But please remember that in order for you to stop reinventing the wheel, I'm giving you this at cost, plus all the forever freebies that come after it, plus 24/7 support, plus these free PD workshops called Shop Talks, these sessions called Shop Talk, all this stuff on purpose, okay, so that you don't have to work hard anymore, okay? I love this one. So take all the things from there and create an achievement chart for 20 of the positive words and expressions found in this life aspect, and list the types of tasks and activities one would have to do to accomplish to earn each compliment. Come on. You got to admit, that's a good idea. Michelle says yes. V says yes. Okay, maybe you don't understand. This is an achievement chart. You take their own 20 expressions or words from this. Whatever ones they choose, you give them the right people. And they choose which 20. And beside each, in order to show the measure of the power of each one of these positive words and expressions, they put a task, some kind of thing that has to be accomplished in order to earn such merited compliment. It's like getting badges with Boy Scouts and Girl Guides, okay? It's earning your badges. How do I earn a fantastique? So you discuss as a class, and then maybe, as Amy just said, you can post a final version in your class of this positive achievement chart. The chart stays there in your classroom or on the wall in the school so that people have something to reach for. I want that compliment. So I'm going to do the recycling for the class today. I want that compliment. So I'm going to buy my teacher lunch today. See? Let's read some of the input here that has been going on. That's what I love about the chat box, is as I'm rambling on, there's often other conversations that are going on in the chat box. So Amy says the kids would love that. V says many of my kids are competitive. So if you do this, they'd be expecting certain words and expressions for everything they do and argue over which one it should be for themselves. Love it. And finally, another additional comment. I can see this posted, as Amy said, in the class afterwards. Now, the power scale is very much related to this for grades 6 up. Okay? Use vocabulary expressions to put the power of encouraging words in order from simplest to strongest. Okay? So now you're going to power scale it, baby. Now we're going to argue about the power of different things. Is it really a formidable, or is it just a bien fait or a bon travail? We know that bien fait, bon travail are lesser than excellent and bravo et parfait, fantastique et whatever else. So that power scale, I think, is really powerful. You can see why it's 6+, so because now we're really getting into your students are going to need the ability to have these kind of argument things. And, of course, if they did mon point de vue as a life aspect before, which is chock full of amazing stuff, then they would actually already be prepared in order to make those arguments, and that's kind of cool and pedagogically sexy. Let's wrap it up with the last one, which is called the compliment trail. This time it's grade 7 up. I'm just going to read this to you. Use the vocabulary and expressions acquired via the authentic task, interactive activities, and the skip with interchangeable vocabulary to write a story about how 15 people's lives were changed by chance meetings, and how the passing on of a compliment or a word of encouragement from complete strangers changed the world. Now let me explain more specifically. Start small and end big. Here's an example. A boy told a girl at the bus stop that her skateboard was fantastic. Smiling and happy, she got off the bus, helped the lady across the street, and told her that her perfume was sans sass. By the end of the chain of compliments, something extraordinary happened. A local baker was so full of confidence from receiving a compliment about his desserts that he was inspired to create the holeless donut. And that's how the holeless donut was invented. Okay, your turn. So your students now have to make a chain reaction of events that happen that include compliments, positive words, and expressions that come from this life aspect. And it has to lead to an incredible, life-changing, transforming experience for the human race because of where it started with a simple compliment. And why am I doing this? Why are we doing this? Are we trying to trick our students into actually believing that if they spread a little bit of positivity, it can actually change the world? Now, why would we do something like that? Our jobs as teachers is to simply teach the language. We are not substitute parents. We're not psychologists. We're not police. We're not preachers. We're not all these other manners of things. Life coaches. We're supposed to be just teaching the language. Or is it okay to subtly insert ideas of positivity that might actually make them think and reflect upon the power that they have each and every day to make a difference that may very well cause a chain reaction that they will never ever see? But maybe they should consider that that doesn't matter. I want you to know right now that your participation in Shop Talk, your simple emails and questions and Facebook messages and the sharing of ideas has been a blessing to me and has helped transform my life. And the best thing I've tried to do is to try to then give it back double-fold with my time and energy. So we're already doing it, is my point. We're living this sharing. We're living this passing on of random acts of positivity. So with this, what seemingly looked like a frivolous, fruitless, useless add-on of a life aspect, think of all the other life aspects that are in this DJ DELF Kit, right? Je me présente, ma journée typique. C'est moi, mon point de vue. Suivez mes directions. Are you kidding me? Au Café DELF. Une planète à partager, going all over the world and talking to people all over the world. All those things our academic-minded colleagues would say those are useful things. What's this frivolous bravo garbage? But it was put at the end because I was hoping people would find it, and people have been finding it, and people have been using it, and it has been making a difference. So I hope this will make a difference for you. You could take these free big ideas that I just gave you, and you can do your own thing, and I hope you will. And let me know some other big ideas that you have so that I can add them to my own collection and then maybe even share them in future booster packs. Booster packs are essentially creations based off of questions, needs, requests of our colleagues, the thousands that are being using this all over the world. You understand, right? As you're doing these big ideas, so are teachers in India, New Zealand, Australia, the Middle East, Canada, United States, all over the world. People are using this, right? These people are sharing their ideas, and we're snowballing off each other. These are the people that you can actually be doing video-to-video conferences with your students, doing things like, for example, the skit for this activity. Have you seen it before? Do you know what it's about? It's called the Compliment War. And so it's actually a game where you lance les compliments. You just like you're throwing compliments at each other. You are wonderful. Oh, yeah? Well, you are superb. I may be superb, but you are magnificent. Wow, magnificent maybe, but I got to tell you, you are perfect. And then it just goes on and goes on and goes on from there. Amy says, my kid's coming. Can't wait for it to arrive. That is awesome. Sharing is caring, says Nina. Absolutely. And she adds that she loves the idea. That's what this is supposed to be about.